As can be a confusing word, especially for students at the B2 level. Often students don't know if they should use as or if they should use like, but it doesn't have to be confusing if you know what to do. My name is Toby, this is Smash English, and here is all you need to know about as for the B2 First Cambridge exam. Oh, and also watch my video about like. It's really good. Yeah, see you later. As can be a preposition, coming before the name of a job, a role, or a function. For example, I work as a teacher, and I work as a Cambridge examiner. Yeah, really? No, I can't believe it either. Bruce, can you give me an example?
No, I don't want to do this video, yeah? You're doing all these videos, no one's watching them, yeah?
Oh, come on, Bruce.
No, mate, you're using me as a slave, all right?
Perfect. Here Bruce is saying that he isn't a slave. However, for me, he has the role or the function of a slave. We can use as to talk about an action that is happening at the same time that another action is happening. Here, as means the same as while. For example, she sang as she was getting ready to go out. Or he typed an email as he spoke on the phone. Wow, how exciting are these examples, guys? Do you love them? I really love them. As can also be a conjunction. Here, as must be followed by a subject and a verb, and it means in the same way that. For example, do as I say. That means do what I told you to do. Or, I bought you the apples as you requested. That's if you buy apples for people regularly. In informal English, people often replace as with like. Although this is technically wrong, it doesn't really matter. Try not to do it in formal writing. If you are writing an essay or a letter of application or a report, I would suggest not using like and instead using as. However, if you're speaking or writing an informal letter, stick with like. It sounds more natural. To me, anyway. But I'm just an informal guy, you know? I'm a great laugh. Anyway, like I was saying, no, formal. Anyway, as I was saying, as can also mean because. For example, Bruce is angry with me as I keep asking him to give examples.
I'm just not gonna say anything, yeah? I'm better than this, yeah?
In this sentence, you can replace as with because, and the meaning doesn't change. It's just a little bit more formal. We can use as for something or as for someone to mean concerning or regarding. This is great for formal writing, so try and use it if you're writing an essay or a letter of application or maybe a report in the Cambridge writing exam. Here are some examples. As for ocean pollution, we should aim to eliminate waste disposal in our waters. As for my availability, I am free to work from Monday to Friday. As for parents, they should ensure their children learn to respect others. We can use as for comparatives. As plus adjective plus as means to the same degree or equal to. Or you could say not as adjective as to mean not equal or not to the same degree. For example, my phone is not as expensive as your phone. Or Toby is as intelligent as Stephen Hawking. And that is definitely true. I am basically a genius. This structure can also be used with some fixed forms. As soon as. This means immediately when. Hello? Yeah, Mum, I'm recording a video. I'll call you later. No, I'll call you as soon as I finish. No, I cannot talk to you now. I'm a YouTube celebrity now, all right? Yeah, I've got 12 subscribers on YouTube, Mum. If I don't record this video, English is finished. Do you understand? Bye-bye, bye-bye, bye-bye now, bye-bye. We can say as long as, and this means only if, or on the condition that. It replaces if in a first conditional. Yeah, stop being stupid. Are you going to help me with the video or not?
I'll do it as long as you get me a drink, yeah?
No, this is a professional YouTube channel. You can't drink.
Professional. You think you look professional, yeah? Cut your hair, mate. You look like an homeless person. It's embarrassing. God.
We can also say as well as, and this means and. Ooh, wow, so difficult. Well, actually remember, a subject cannot come after this. If you put a subject after as well as, then well becomes the adverb of good. For example, I play the guitar as well as sing. This means I play the guitar and I sing. I play the guitar as well as I sing. This means that I play the guitar and sing in an equally good way. See the difference?
Yeah, but you're rubbish at both of them. You know what I mean?
Okay, Grumpy, it was just an example. And lastly, for the B2 First exam, we can say as far as I know. And this just means from what I know. From the information I have available to me, I know this.
Oh, hi!
Oh, hey Monica.
Where's Bruce?
As far as I know, he's drinking. On his own.
Ew.
I'm reading a book about politics. You ignorant people.
And lastly, we have as if and as though. We use as if and as though with a present tense or the present perfect to give a likely explanation for something. Something that is likely to be true. For example, they look as if they are a family. They look as though they are in a restaurant. They look as if they are having a really interesting conversation. Just like us right now. Yeah! We use as if or as though with a past tense to talk about something that looks like it is true, but it isn't true. Obviously she has eaten in years because she's not dead, but because it appears so but isn't true, we use a past tense with as if and as though. So here we use the past perfect. Oh, we're doing another one of these bits, are we? Okay, so when could you use as in the exam? Well, of course, for all of the exam, but especially the use of English parts, especially, again, part 2. The open-close section of the exam. Actually, this is incredibly common. In almost every open-close section of the exam, there is a like or there is an as. So be on the lookout, and it's an easy point for you to get. An example question could be, I will come to the disco as you pay for me. These are very common, these as fixed expressions. Here we need as long as you pay for me. As long as, of course, means only if, on the condition that. Many students will see as and put the first expression they think of down onto the paper. For example, as far as long as well as soon as. Think carefully about which one is appropriate for the question. Prior to becoming a world-renowned artist, he worked a waiter in a local cafe. Now, of course, the answer here is as, but many students will say like. If you work like something, it means you work in a way that is similar to something. But this man was a waiter. That was his job, so he worked as a waiter. Remember, we use as to talk about an occupation, a role, or a function. And of course, as can appear in part 4, the difficult part, the word transformations. Here is a potential question. He looks like he has seen a ghost. Okay, we need the word as. There are 2 possible answers here. He looks as though he had seen a ghost, or he looks as if he had seen a ghost. Here we need the past perfect because we are talking about something that is unreal. I don't believe in ghosts, maybe you do, but I think it's unlikely that he really saw a ghost. So we must use the past perfect here. He looks as if he had seen a ghost. He looks as though he had seen a ghost. These as if and as though structures are especially useful for part 2 of the speaking, where we must describe and answer questions about an image. Of course, we don't really know what is happening in these pictures because we are not these people, and so we must speculate. As though and as if are fantastic ways of doing this. For example, here we have people that look like they have graduated. We don't know for sure, but I think that they probably have. So we can say, they look as if they have just graduated, or they look as though they have just graduated. Here we are using a present or present perfect tense because this is pretty likely. Or what about this? These people are very happy. They are so happy, they look as if they had won the lottery. They look as though they had won the lottery. I think it is very unlikely that they have won the lottery, so here I use the past perfect to stress that this is an unreal or unlikely situation. And yeah, I'm finished again. And with that, we are finished. Now you know everything you need to know about as for the Cambridge B2 First exam. Now watch my video on Like if you haven't already. It's really fantastic. As always, if you liked the video, don't forget to smash that like button, hit subscribe, leave a comment down below. My name is Toby and this was Smash English.